Hi, we finished meeting yesterday for intonation practice on November 2nd, and I made a mistake with the video, so I'm doing it today. And we had daylight savings time ends on Sunday, and I didn't rewrite it to what it sounds like because there weren't that many sound changes. So, where you see the underline, that's where the sounds will connect together. And the bold are the stressed words, stressed syllables that will be higher and longer. So, daylight saving. Did I say savings? That's a bad habit. I do that. Daylight saving time ends on Sunday. Ends on. We fall back. If you take a pause there won't be a connection. We fall back and spring forward. If you don't take a pause, you'll connect the K to the A. We fall back and spring forward. Fall back and spring forward. It's a small world. Let's have some fun. It's a, it's a, it's a small world. Let's have some fun. And we practice going up on fun because going down on fun, let's have some fun. Doesn't sound very fun. Let's have some fun. It's not funny. So it's not. When you blend those together, this is what led me to Mad Gab because I pointed out that when you're a kid and you hear the word snot, which is boogers and anything from your nose, you think it's hilarious. So when you hear snot, it's snot funny. You think of it as the word snot. But these two, whether you think of it as it's not funny or it's snot funny, it doesn't matter because they sound the same. Because in connected speech and regular speaking, we don't take breaks between words and they all run together. So that led me to think about the Mad Gab game that I used to play with my classes because even though this game has nothing to do with teaching English, it does have good qualities that I think are very helpful. For example, you see a card like this. So these three words don't have anything to do with each other. A, aid, arrive, her, slice, sends. So me, I can see the answer here. You and maybe other people have to try to guess what does this mean with regular words, letters. So you have to keep your tongue moving to make these connections to make them kind of form into other sounds. A derive her slices. This also combines the properties of connections like H deletion. We don't have to say the H in pronouns like he, him, his, her, and them. So, well, the TH in them. So you get rid of the H, you connect the consonant before it to the what's left, arriver, arriver. A deriver, a deriver slices. A driver's license, a driver's license, a driver's license. So it really sounds like real words. This one, here's the card. So it looks like this. Used ink. If you said these totally separate, used, maybe a good d at the end, ink. But in regular speech, we are not that careful to say used ink. We say used ink, used ink, used ink, used ink. The D kind of loses the voicing and it can sound like a T. And sometimes these cards have a voiced or voiceless sound. So you might have to make a little jump between is it really a D or is it really a T? What does it sound like in the bigger picture? You stink, you stink. It sounds like you stink. um, Ache. Here's the card. I don't know why I feel like you need to see it. I just want you to see how they're not written on a line. So they're kind of in a different shape. And I think that also affects how you think about seeing these words. So just like when you practice this with reading anything, a book or website or anything, keep your tongue moving from one sound to the next. It doesn't matter that they're on different lines. You just keep your tongue moving. So in that way, it is easier to see them horizontally. This doesn't have connections like the other one, But when you say them together, no stopping, your tongue will fill in the spaces. Ache, how, cue, later. Ache, how, cue, later. Now, no stopping. A calculator. A calculator. A calculator. A calculator. A calculator. And no, in real life, I wouldn't say I'd say a calculator, but you can get it. And this one, written vertically like this: do, wino, hue. And the important part for this one is that the HUE has a Y. So you're starting with your tongue in the Y position, and it sounds like hue, not who, which doesn't have the tongue high. So do, wino, hue. Do I know Hugh? 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 Do I know you? So the other part of this is maybe you can say them all connected and you're saying the words, but if you don't have stress on the right place, it can be completely confusing. If I said a calculator, as in a calculator, a calculator, a calculator, maybe that would be no, that's how it's supposed to be. A calculator. What if I put it on Q? A calculator. A calculator. Maybe that would be confusing. A calculator. But when you hear it with stress on the right syllable, you recognize it as the word that you're familiar with. Oh, calculator. Okay, that's enough for the Mad Gab. I interrupted the uh, intonation practice for that. But it's good practice. It's good practice for continuous movement of your tongue. Don't think about this is a word, this is a word, this is a word, because when you're speaking, those spaces disappear. And then that's when connections will automatically happen and sound changes like t and d to ch. So without further ado, number 12, without further ado, that will connect. Much ado about nothing. Much ado. You connect much ado about. I put this W in parentheses because it's an invisible W. It's an intrusive W. It's not invited, it just shows up because the rounded ado and then the not rounded about, ado about makes a W. So that will happen automatically if you're rounding your lips enough for the ado. Harmful insects for humans. Harmful insects. So this harmful insects, the L will connect to the I for humans. The red imported fire ant. The red dim. This connects to the D to the I. The red imported fire ant. Fire ant. Imported. This T is a D. Ticks spread Lyme disease. Ticks spread. One S sound. Not ticks spread, but ticks spread Lyme disease. That's it. And sorry it took so long to post this. I hope it was helpful. And I also have the link to Amazon for the Mad Gab game if you're interested. And there's usually places to find online that you can play Mad Gab online. I didn't search. Sorry, you can. That's it. Thanks. And I hope to see you next Wednesday.